The galaxy was vast and ancient, filled with thousands of civilizations. For ages, great empires had ruled the stars: the Varn Dominion, the Keth Union, and the Ilvari Confederacy. Each race had their fleets, their trade routes, and their own pride. Yet for all their power, none of them had ever met a species quite like humans. They didn't even know humanity existed. Not yet. For centuries, the galaxy believed that it had already seen everything. It had witnessed wars that turned planets into glass, technologies that could tear holes through space, and peace treaties that lasted for millennia. But all of that changed the moment a signal arrived from the edge of known space, a distress beacon from a small colony world called Trien 4. The message was simple. Unknown ship detected, massive, no known signature. Moving fast. At first no one took it seriously. Unknown ships were rare but not impossible. Pirates, rogue traders, and forgotten AIs were common enough to explain such things. Yet when the first scans came through, the entire Galactic Council went silent. The object was enormous, larger than any known battleship. It was made of unknown alloys, its hull absorbing scans instead of reflecting them. It moved with precision and purpose, cutting through the void like a blade. Admiral Kelvar of the Varn Dominion was the first to speak. "Identify the species. Has anyone seen a design like this before?" No one answered. For the first time in 1,000 years, the Council had no data, no record, and no theory. A lone giant, the mysterious ship slowed as it entered Trien 4's orbit. From the surface, colonists stared up at the night sky, watching a dark shape block out the stars. It didn't send any signals. It didn't respond to hails. It simply stayed there, silent, as if observing. Sensors detected its energy output. It was immense. A single burst could power a small city for years. When the Ilvari science ship Serenith approached to investigate, they sent a message in a dozen galactic languages. "Unknown vessel, identify yourself. You are entering protected space. Please respond." There was only silence. Then a voice came through. It was calm. It was human. "This is the United Terran battleship Valiant Dawn. We come in peace, but we will defend ourselves if necessary." The Ilvari captain blinked. "Terran? Never heard of it." Before they could reply, the battleship Valiant Dawn sent a data packet. Simple, polite, and brief. It contained basic human information: star maps of Sol, greetings in multiple languages, and a message of cooperation. But there was something strange about the data. The technology used to send it was centuries ahead of anything the galaxy had ever seen. A ship born from war on board the Valiant Dawn, Captain Elias Ward stood at the bridge's viewport, watching the alien ships hold their distance. He could see the blue glow of Trien 4 below, and the silver hulls of unknown fleets glinting in orbit. "Any reply yet?" he asked. "None, sir," said Lieutenant Rena Cade, the communications officer. "They seem confused. Probably never heard of us." Elias smiled slightly. "Good. That means we have the advantage." The Valiant Dawn wasn't just a ship, it was a symbol. Built after humanity's long and brutal wars back in the Sol system, it represented strength through unity. After centuries of fighting, humans had finally united under one banner, the United Terran Navy. And now, for the first time, they had dared to step beyond their spiral arm and enter the galactic stage. Their mission was simple: exploration and contact. But humanity's history had taught them one thing: peace only lasted when you were strong enough to defend it. That was why Valiant Dawn existed. It was a moving fortress, carrying enough firepower to destroy fleets. But its true power lay in its crew, people who had learned from war, pain, and rebuilding. The Council reacts when the message from Valiant Dawn reached the Galactic Council. Chaos broke out. Admiral Kelvar slammed his clawed hand on the table. "They built that thing on a single planet? Impossible." The Ilvari representative, a calm silver-skinned being, replied softly, "We verified the transmission. The humans come from a system called Sol, a small star near the Orion Arm. Primitive region," another counselor muttered. "No known trade routes. How could they have developed such power?" The council debated for hours. Some saw the humans as potential allies. Others saw them as a threat. But fear spread faster than diplomacy. Every empire that had once believed itself powerful now felt a shadow hanging over them. The shadow of the Valiant Dawn. The data packet contained scans of Earth and Luna, images of cities, and a list of technological milestones. They had developed faster than any known race, nuclear power to interstellar travel in only a few centuries. The Ilvari scientist leaned back in disbelief. They learn fast. Too fast. A quiet warning back near Trian 4, a small Varn patrol ship made the mistake of approaching too close. Its sensors locked onto the Valiant Dawn, trying to probe deeper into its defenses. The human ship responded instantly. Without firing a shot, it released a pulse of electromagnetic energy, gentle, precise, yet powerful enough to disable the Varn ship's systems completely. Lights flickered. Engines died. Within moments, the Valiant Dawn sent a simple transmission. Please maintain a safe distance. We do not wish to cause harm. No threats. No anger, just control. Calm and confident. The Varn captain trembled as he watched his screens go dark. In that moment, he realized that this Terran battleship could have destroyed them in an instant, but chose not to. That choice was even more terrifying. The human captain's view on the bridge. Captain Elias watched the alien ship slowly retreat. Did we damage them? Asked Rena. No, he said. Just gave them a warning. We don't want to start a war. He folded his hands behind his back. But they need to understand what we're capable of. Respect comes first and friendship follows, Rena nodded. Though she couldn't shake the feeling that they had just stepped into something much larger than anyone could predict. Humanity had always been underestimated. For centuries they had fought, rebuilt, and evolved faster than logic should allow. Now, for the first time, the galaxy was seeing the result. Rumors across the stars within days. Every major world knew the name Valiant Dawn. Rumors spread like wildfire. A single human warship, massive enough to rival fleets wandering the stars. Some called it a legend. Others called it a threat. Whispers spread in shadowed places. They say the humans don't fear death. They say their weapons can vaporize moons. They say they come from a world that survived its own destruction. None of it was confirmed. But fear doesn't wait for facts. The galaxy, so proud, so secure, was beginning to feel something it had forgotten long ago. Uncertainty. And with uncertainty came fear. The galaxy had not been this tense in centuries. News of the mysterious Terran battleship Valiant Dawn had reached every world, from the shining spires of the Ilvari homeworld to the deep mining stations of the Varn Dominion. In the great halls of the Galactic Council, fear and curiosity mixed like storm clouds. Delegates whispered to each other. Holoscreens showed the human ship orbiting Trian 4, silent, massive, unmoving, but always watching. Some said it was a weapon. Some said it was a message. And some feared it was both. The Decision High Chancellor Terrell, leader of the council, stood before the gathering. His smooth violet skin glowed under the chamber lights. Order, he called, his voice calm but firm. We must act with reason. The humans claim peace. We will send envoys to meet them. A low murmur spread through the room. Admiral Kelvar, the Varn military commander, slammed his hand on the table. Envoys? You would send diplomats to a species that carries a fortress across the stars? The Chancellor raised an eyebrow. Would you rather send a fleet and risk starting a war with something we do not understand? Kelvar fell silent. In the end, the council agreed. A small diplomatic team would travel to Trian 4. Their mission, meet the humans, learn their intentions, and if possible, ensure peace. The Envoy Fleet 3 ships left the central hub within a day, one from each of the great powers. The Ilvari vessel Serenith, carrying the lead diplomat Lyra Vel, known for her calm and grace. The Varn cruiser Kraxos, commanded by the proud Admiral Kelvar, sent to ensure security. And the gentle Keth exploration ship Wind of Dawn, bringing scientists and observers. As the ships entered the system, they saw it, the Valiant Dawn. It hung in orbit like a silent guardian. Its black armor reflected faint light from the nearby sun. Around it, faint blue lines glowed along the hull, like veins of power. The alien envoys could feel it even before they scanned it. A weight in the air, a quiet pressure that made their hearts beat faster. First contact, transmit standard greeting, said Lyra Vel. Her silver eyes calm, though her voice trembled slightly. A few moments later, a voice answered, human, clear, and steady. This is Captain Elias Ward of the United Terran battleship Valiant Dawn. Welcome to Trian 4. Identify yourselves. Lyra replied, We represent the Galactic Council. We come to establish peaceful communication. There was a pause. Then the human spoke again. Acknowledged Council envoys. You are cleared to dock with our vessel. Coordinates have been sent. Please follow the guidance beacons. Welcome aboard the Valiant Dawn. Kelvar's claws tightened on the armrest. They invite us aboard their warship? Bold, but Lyra only smiled. Perhaps they have nothing to fear. Boarding the human ship. The alien ships followed glowing blue signals to a massive docking bay. The doors opened slowly, revealing an interior large enough to hold several small cruisers. Inside, everything was clean, metal gray, and built with precision. Rows of lights guided them forward as human officers waited by the entrance. When the envoys stepped out, they froze. Humans stood in a straight line, tall and calm, wearing dark uniforms with silver badges. Their eyes met the visitors, curious, sharp, unafraid. Captain Elias Ward stepped forward. Welcome aboard the Valiant Dawn, he said. His tone was formal but friendly. We are honored to meet the Galactic Council. Lyra bowed slightly, as was the Ilvari custom. I am Lyra Vel, diplomatic envoy. We thank you for allowing this meeting. Kelvar, however, growled softly under his breath. Strange that a species so young builds something so massive, he muttered. Elias heard him but did not respond. He only smiled faintly. The meeting. They were led to a wide room filled with transparent screens showing data, star maps, ship movements, and strange energy readings. Impressive, whispered one of the Keth scientists. Your technology is advanced, Elias nodded. We've had to learn fast. Our home system went through many wars before we united. Now we aim to explore peacefully, but we carry the lessons of our past. Kelvar folded his arms. Lessons that require a battleship larger than a city. Elias turned to face him. His calm never broke. Yes, peace without strength is only an invitation for someone else's war. The room went silent. Even Lyra felt the weight of his words. Humans did not speak like conquerors. Yet their tone carried something powerful. Experience. A tour of power to ease the tension. Elias invited the envoys on a short tour. They saw the massive engine cores glowing softly with quantum energy. They saw repair drones moving like silent shadows, fixing tiny details without rest. They passed through training halls where humans practiced hand-to-hand drills and VR simulations. Everywhere they went, efficiency and discipline were clear. When they reached the command deck, Lyra noticed the human crew quietly working, each one alert, calm, and precise. No shouting, no panic. Kelvar finally spoke again, though this time softer. You've prepared for something. What threat do you expect? Elias looked out at the stars. The unknown, he said. And maybe the fear of others. He turned to them. We came here to explore, but we know that our presence might worry your people. We only wish to understand, not to dominate. Lyra saw honesty in his eyes. It was rare and unsettling. The demonstration. Before the meeting ended, Elias made an offer. Perhaps a small demonstration of our ship's systems will help build trust. Kelvar's spines twitched. Demonstration? Elias nodded. Non-weapon, of course, he gestured to his officer. Begin the test. Through the wide viewing window, they saw the ship's sensors lock onto a dead moon nearby. Then beams of faint light shot from the hull. No explosions, no fire, only quiet precision. In seconds, the Valiant Dawn scanned, mapped, and projected a complete 3D model of the moon's interior. Every tunnel, every mineral vein, every crack. The image hovered in the air, glowing. Lyra was speechless. That level of detail, it would take our best scanners hours. Our system does it in 20 seconds, Elias said simply. Kelvar clenched his jaw. He was a soldier. He understood what this meant. If humans could map a moon this quickly, they could map a fleet, or a planet, just as easily. The quiet power of it sent a chill through him. The dinner. That evening, a formal dinner was arranged in the observation hall. Plates of simple but elegant food were served, prepared to suit all species. The envoys spoke freely now, the earlier tension easing. They asked about Earth, human history, and their journey beyond Sol. Elias shared stories of the first Mars colony, the unification wars, and the great effort that built the Valiant Dawn. Lyra listened carefully. You humans achieved all of this after uniting your world? She asked. Elias nodded. Yes, we learned the hard way that division leads to extinction. Now we look beyond and to learn, to grow, and maybe to help. Kelvar frowned. And if someone tries to stop you? Elias looked at him steady and calm. Then we'll remind them why our ship is called Valiant Dawn. There was no threat in his tone, just truth. The table fell silent again. A galaxy, uneasy. After the dinner, the envoys returned to their ships. They had learned much, yet even more remained uncertain. Lyra wrote in her report, humans appear peaceful, but their strength is beyond measure. Their technology and discipline suggest a civilization that survived great hardship. They are explorers, but also protectors. Their presence may alter the balance of the galaxy. Kelvar wrote something different. Do not be fooled. They smile, but behind that smile is power. If provoked, humanity will not fight to win. They will fight to end the war entirely. As their ships left the Valiant Dawn behind, every envoy knew the same truth. The galaxy had just met a species that had seen destruction, survived it, and come out stronger. On board the Valiant Dawn, Captain. Elias watched their ships fade into the distance. Think they'll trust us? Rena asked quietly. Not yet, Elias said, but they'll remember us, and they'll think twice before pointing their weapons our way. He looked at the stars again, the faint glow reflecting in his eyes. Humanity is done hiding. Let them see what we've become. The engines of the Valiant Dawn hummed softly, as if agreeing. In the cold silence of space, a new chapter in galactic history had begun, one written by humanity's steady hands. The galaxy had never been truly silent, but in the hours after the envoys returned, a quiet tension settled across multiple star systems. Rumors of humanity's battleship, the Valiant Dawn, spread like fire through space lanes, starports, and trading hubs. Every empire, every fleet commander felt the weight of a new, unknown power. And then the message came. The Dark Empire strikes far beyond the sectors known to most civilizations. A shadow moved. The Drakkar Empire, a ruthless and secretive species that had carved a bloody path across the outer galaxy, detected the Terran signal and moved quickly. They had grown used to fear, but now they themselves felt it. Commander Thrax of the Drakkar fleet stared at his holoscreen, showing the humans' location. They move fast, he growled. A single ship, and it dares to enter the galaxy without permission? His second-in-command hissed. They are primitive. One strike from our fleet will crush them. Thrax turned sharply. We will not underestimate them. I want full scans and attack plans. If they have only one ship, we will take it by force, and show the galaxy what happens to those who trespass. Unknown to the Drakkar, they were about to learn a lesson they would never forget. The alert on board the Valiant Dawn, alarms rang softly. Sensors had picked up a large fleet, ships with hostile signatures, cloaking devices, and weapons far beyond the level of the envoy's vessels. Unknown fleet approaching, reported Lieutenant Rena Cade. High speed, aggressive trajectory, multiple classes of warships. Captain Elias Ward's eyes narrowed. Distance? Too close for negotiation, she said. Elias took a deep breath. Humanity had prepared for this moment, not because they sought war, but because they had learned from history. Those who waited for permission were the first to die. Alert the crew, he said. Battle stations. Let them see what humanity looks like when provoked. The Drakkar arrive. The Drakkar fleet emerged from the shadows of a gas giant, dark and massive. Thousands of ships, each bristling with weapons, formed a line of black steel. From the bridge of the Valiant Dawn, the humans watched silently. They had no fear. Not because they were invincible, but because they had trained for this moment for decades. The Drakkar commander's voice came through the void. Humans, you have entered territory you do not belong to. Surrender immediately or be destroyed. Elias stood calm and firm. This is the Sol System fleet, he said. We have come to explore, not fight. But if you attack, we will defend ourselves. And your empire will regret it. The Drakkar laughed. A cold, cruel sound. You will regret nothing, because you will be gone before you see it. And then the attack began. The power of humanity. The first strike came in the form of plasma volleys from hundreds of Drakkar ships. Each beam would have torn through smaller vessels easily, but the valiant Dawn moved with precision no alien fleet had ever seen. Shields flared. Energy dampeners pulsed. Defense drones flew out like silver arrows, intercepting the plasma before it reached the hull. In moments, the Drakkar realized they were not facing a simple ship. They were facing a fortress guided by humans whose coordination, instinct, and courage outmatched anything they had encountered. Elias's voice was calm on the bridge. Target their weapon systems first. Avoid civilian damage. Let them feel the precision of human defense. Missiles fired from the valiant Dawn not to destroy but to disable. Within minutes, half of the Drakkar fleet's forward weapons were offline, their formations broken. The Drakkar commander hissed in disbelief. Impossible. A single ship. Elias looked at the stars beyond the Drakkar fleet. Never underestimate humans, he said quietly. The envoys watched. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council's envoys observed from a distance. Their ships were too small to intervene but large enough to witness the battle. Lyra's eyes were wide. They are not just explorers, she whispered. They are warriors trained for survival, and they do not hesitate to protect what is theirs. Kelvar's claws clenched. This is why I warned them. You do not provoke a Terran. You do not test them. From their observation decks, they saw the Drakkar ships scattered, damaged, and confused. The humans did not celebrate. They maintained formation, calm, efficient, and disciplined. The galaxy had never seen war like this, not the reckless, chaotic fighting common in older civilizations. This was strategy, precision, and controlled power. A human lesson. After an hour, the Drakkar fleet withdrew, battered and humiliated. The valiant Dawn did not chase. Humans did not kill unnecessarily. They had won without shedding lives, proving a point the galaxy would never forget. Humanity's strength lay not just in weapons, but in discipline, courage, and intelligence. Elias turned to Rena. They will think twice before trying again, he said. Rena nodded. And the galaxy will know. The council envoys, watching from afar, were already drafting reports. The words were the same in every language. Humans are unlike any race we have ever met. They survive, adapt, and fight, and they do it with honor. Even the Drakkar could not ignore it. When they returned to their home system, every commander reported the same thing. One human ship had defeated a fleet of thousands without breaking a single rule of engagement. A quiet reflection. After the battle, the valiant Dawn drifted above Trian 4 once more. Captain Elias stood at the viewport looking at the stars. Was it necessary? Rena asked quietly. Yes, Elias said. They needed to learn. Peace is only respected when backed by strength. The galaxy will fear recklessness, but respect will come to those who act wisely. They were explorers, but they were also guardians. Humanity had survived wars, natural disasters, and even near extinction. Now the galaxy would understand why. The crew returned to their stations, calm and methodical. No celebration, no anger, no fear. Just readiness for whatever came next. Messages across the stars within days. News of the battle spread faster than light travel messages. Holo feeds, subspace transmissions, and trade posts carried the story. One human ship, Valiant Dawn, had engaged a fleet 10 times its size. Not one human had died. Not one ship had been destroyed. The Drakkar Empire withdrew, humiliated and silent. Every civilization now faced the same question. How should they respond to humanity? Some sent messages of admiration, some sent messages of caution. Some quietly began to reinforce their fleets, and in the shadows, other empires whispered, preparing for the day they might face the humans themselves. The council debates. The Galactic Council convened emergency sessions. Lyra spoke first. The humans are not a threat if left alone. They seek knowledge, exploration, and diplomacy. But if provoked, they are unmatched. Admiral Kelvar bared his teeth. They are dangerous. One ship taught the Drakkar Empire fear. If we allow them to expand, no fleet will challenge them. A younger diplomat representing the Keth Union intervened. Perhaps that is why we should ally with them. Humanity could stabilize regions the Council cannot. The room fell silent. For the first time, a species that had not yet claimed the galaxy was shaping its destiny. and every civilization understood that a new era had begun. Humans' perspective back on the Valiant Dawn. Life continued as normal. Humans did not boast. They did not celebrate. They trained, maintained, and prepared for the unknown. Captain Elias spoke to his crew. Today we reminded the galaxy why humanity survives. Tomorrow we will remind them why humanity thrives. The crew nodded, knowing their purpose was larger than any single battle. They carried the hopes of a planet, a system, and eventually a species ready to step into the stars. And as Trian 4's sun set behind the horizon, the Valiant Dawn's hull gleamed like a promise. Humanity was here and the galaxy would never forget them. The galaxy was uneasy. After the Drakkar fleet's defeat, civilizations debated whether to fear, ally with, or avoid humanity. Yet the humans themselves were unaware of the storm silently moving toward them, a threat far older and more cunning than the Drakkar. A strange signal. On board the Valiant Dawn, the crew detected an unusual reading. Deep in uncharted space, sensors picked up a signal unlike anything the galaxy had recorded. Lieutenant Rena Cade studied the patterns. "Captain, it's not a ship, not even a fleet. The energy is alive almost. It's moving toward us, but not like normal objects." Elias Ward leaned over the console. The signal was faint but growing stronger. "Could it be a natural phenomenon?" "No," Rena replied. "It has purpose, direction, intelligence. Something wants us to notice it." Elias's gaze turned toward the stars. Humanity had faced wars, famine, and disaster. They had survived everything, but this felt different. Unknown. Dangerous. "Prepare the fleet for immediate analysis," he ordered, "and keep it non-threatening. We need to understand, not provoke." The Council watches. The Galactic Council was observing closely. Holofeeds streamed live images of the Valiant Dawn as it moved cautiously toward the signal. Lyra Vell spoke to her colleagues, her voice steady but concerned. "If humans are already this advanced, what will they do if the threat proves hostile?" Kelvar growled under his breath. "Let them find out the hard way. But humanity will survive. They always do." Even the Council began to realize something crucial. Humans were not just strong. They were persistent, adaptive, and capable of facing threats no other species could endure. First encounter. The signal led them to a small, dark system at the edge of known space. A dead star orbited by shattered planets, asteroids, and ruins. A graveyard of civilizations that had come before. The Valiant Dawn moved carefully. Suddenly the signal pulsed again, stronger, as if the system itself were alive. Rena's eyes widened. "Captain, multiple ships are materializing from the shadows. They're not fully solid, like energy forms, but structured." The humans had never faced this type of enemy before. Neither organic nor machine, but something in between. It was intelligent and hostile, yet eerily calm. Elias ordered the crew to battle stations. "Let's find out what we're dealing with. Remember, we survive first, fight second. Alien adaptation." The energy entities moved quickly, surrounding the Valiant Dawn. Their forms shifted constantly, testing the humans' weapons and defenses. Lasers and missiles passed through them, barely affecting their semi-physical bodies. "This isn't like the Drakkar," said Rena. "They adapt instantly. Every attack we use becomes less effective." Elias nodded. "Then we adapt faster." He looked to the tactical officers. "Target their patterns. Observe, learn, and strike where they are weakest. Humans don't give up. We survive because we think, not because we wait for luck." The Valiant Dawn responded with precision. Sensors mapped the entity's movements, predicting their attacks. Countermeasures disrupted their energy forms, forcing them to retreat temporarily. It was a test, Elias realized, not just for humans, but for the galaxy itself, a lesson in courage. Meanwhile, the Council envoys watched in awe and disbelief. Lyra whispered, "They are learning faster than anything else we know. Humans don't panic. They adapt. They survive." Kelvar's claws tapped impatiently. "Fear? No. Respect. That is what humanity demands from the galaxy." Even the Drakkar, who had been monitoring from a distance, were silent. A single human ship had faced a fleet of thousands, and now it faced an unknown. Almost godlike force stuck and remained unbroken. Unexpected communication then. A voice came. not from speakers but directly into the minds of the humans. Terrans, why do you intrude? The crew froze. No translator could explain it fully. It was not language as they knew it, but thought, direct, clear, and powerful. Elias answered calmly. We do not intrude. We explore. We seek understanding. We mean no harm. You bring balance, yet you bring conflict. Why? Elias paused. He thought of all of humanity's history. Wars, survival, resilience, and unity. He knew this being would understand truth, not lies. We survive because we must. We fight because we cannot accept extinction. We seek peace, but we will defend life when necessary. For a moment, silence. Then the energy presence shifted, its form swirling like smoke in the void. Interesting. We will watch. But know this, darkness grows. You are not yet prepared for the galaxy beyond. The signal vanished. Rena exhaled slowly. That was something else. Elias's jaw tightened. Then we prepare. We always prepare. Preparation for war. The valiant Dawn remained in the system for days, studying the ruins and the remnants of other civilizations. Every crew member worked tirelessly, scientists scanning, engineers strengthening shields, officers running simulations. Humans thrived under pressure. Where others might despair at an unknown threat, humans focused. They learned faster, adapted faster, and worked together like no other species could. Elias walked among his crew. We may not understand what we just faced, but we understand ourselves. We survive because we adapt. Humanity will thrive because we refuse to fail. Rena smiled faintly. They will return, won't they? They might, Elias said. But if they do, they will meet a species that has already faced the impossible and lived. The galaxy responds back in the Galactic Council. News of the encounter reached every member. Some were inspired. Some feared. Lyra reported, humanity is exceptional. Their ability to adapt and survive surpasses any species we know. If they ally with us, we can stabilize entire sectors. If they oppose us, no fleet will survive. Kelvar growled softly. I told you, never underestimate humans. They are the galaxy's turning point. Even older, more cautious species began to reconsider their approach to humanity. The balance of power was shifting, not through conquest but through pure capability, courage, and resilience. A quiet determination on board the valiant Dawn, Captain Elias addressed his senior officers. We have seen what lies beyond. We have faced something no one else has, and yet we are still standing. He paused, eyes on the stars. This is what humanity does. We survive, we protect, we explore, and when the galaxy doubts us, we rise higher than anyone expects. Rena Cade nodded. Then what's next, sir? Elias smiled faintly. Next, we prepare the galaxy for the truth that humanity is here, and the galaxy will never forget it. Every human on the ship felt it, the weight of responsibility, the pride of survival, and the promise of what they could achieve. They had faced impossible odds before. They would face them again, and through it all humanity would endure. End of Part 4A's The Valiant Dawn left the Dark System. Heading back toward known space, the crew knew that the galaxy was changing. They were no longer just explorers. They were a standard by which every civilization would measure itself. Some would admire them. Some would fear them. Some would try to challenge them, but one thing was certain. Humanity would not be defeated. The stars stretched before them, endless and full of possibility. And humanity aboard its great battleship would rise to meet every challenge. Next part, Part 5 Preview. The galaxy either unites or falls apart in response to humanity's arrival. Hidden enemies plot their revenge, old allies test their loyalty, and humanity must demonstrate not only strength but leadership. The Valiant Dawn will become a symbol, and the galaxy will see true courage, intelligence, and resilience in human form. The galaxy held its breath. After months of observation, speculation, and quiet fear, humanity's presence was no longer a secret. Every empire, every fleet, every planet had felt the ripple of the Valiant Dawn's arrival. Some were inspired. Some were terrified. Some were already plotting to challenge what they did not understand, and yet, humanity's mission remained unchanged. Explore, protect, and survive. With courage, intelligence, and unity, a council divided. The Galactic Council convened an emergency session. Delegates argued endlessly. Humanity is too strong, Admiral Kelvar growled, claws tapping on the table. If we allow them to grow, no empire will stand in 100 years. Lyra Vel, calm and thoughtful, countered. They seek cooperation, not conquest. If we form an alliance, we can bring stability to sectors torn by war. A younger diplomat from the Keth Union added, We underestimate them at our peril. Humanity's survival instinct and ingenuity surpass anything we have seen. If they fight, they do not simply win, they redefine war itself. Voices rose. The council could not decide. Fear clashed with opportunity, and the galaxy waited for humanity's next move. An unexpected threat, amid the political tension, a new danger emerged. Reports came in from deep space. Fleets had vanished, entire systems destroyed, but no enemy ships were seen. Only strange energy readings like the signal humans had encountered before. Elias Ward stood on the bridge of the Valiant Dawn, listening to the reports. His jaw tightened. They're testing the galaxy, he said. Not by war, but by fear. Whoever this is, they want to see who can survive. Rena Cade frowned. They're intelligent. They target civilization systematically, and they leave almost nothing behind. Elias gazed at the stars. Then it's up to us to protect those who cannot protect themselves. Humanity doesn't run from a challenge. We face it. The crew nodded, silent but resolute. Every officer and soldier knew the weight of responsibility. The galaxy depended on them now more than ever. Rallying allies, the Valiant Dawn moved quickly. Elias sent transmissions to every civilization willing to listen, offering guidance, strategy, and protection. Some fleets answered, hesitant but eager. Others stayed silent, unsure if humanity could be trusted. Lyra Vel's voice came through. Captain Ward, the Council has authorized limited cooperation. Some empires wish to work with you. Elias nodded. Then we begin. The galaxy must see that humanity fights not for conquest, but for survival. For everyone. Together, humans and allied species formed a task force. Ships of different shapes and sizes moved in formation, guided by human tactics and leadership. The Valiant Dawn was at the center, not just a ship but a symbol of hope, courage, and unity. The battle of the unknown. The energy-based entities struck again. This time entire sectors were at risk. Fleets of humans and allies gathered to confront them. Elias stood on the bridge, calm and focused. They adapt quickly, watch their patterns, move faster than they can react. Humanity has never lost when we think before we act. The entities emerged from the void, their forms shifting, testing the combined fleets. Their attacks were precise, targeting weak points. But humanity had learned every maneuver, every counter, every action was faster, smarter, and more coordinated than any alien species had expected. Missiles, lasers, drones, and shields all worked in harmony. Humans guided allied fleets, predicting enemy movements, intercepting attacks, and protecting vulnerable planets. For the first time, the galaxy saw humanity's full power. Not just their technology, but their intelligence, courage, and ability to inspire others to fight together. Turning the tide, the battle raged for hours. Fleets on both sides adapted. Humans remained calm, coordinated, and precise. The Valiant Dawn struck at the heart of the energy entities' formations, disrupting their attacks and forcing them to retreat. Elias's voice echoed over comms. Focus on survival and defense. Every life counts. Protect the innocent. Humanity fights for more than victory. We fight for hope. Allied fleets responded with precision, inspired by human leadership. Planets that had been lost before were saved. Fleets that had been unsure of their role now acted decisively. The entities, unprepared for such coordination and resolve, began to withdraw. For the first time, a civilization, humanity, and its allies had faced them and survived. A galactic turning point. After the battle, silence filled the void. The galaxy watched, awed and humbled. Humans had done what no one thought possible. They had faced an unknown, nearly invincible force, and had protected others in the process. News spread quickly. Holofeeds, subspace transmissions, and council reports declared it. Humans are not just survivors. They are leaders. They are protectors. They are a force that can unite the galaxy, or strike fear into anyone who challenges them. Even the Drakkar, silent observers until now, acknowledged the truth. Humanity's arrival had changed the rules of power forever. A human message. Elias addressed the galaxy through every communication channel he could reach. His voice was calm, firm, and clear. We are humans. We come from a planet called Earth. We have faced wars, disasters, and extinction, and we survived. Now we are here, not to conquer, but to protect, to explore, to learn, and to help those who cannot defend themselves. The galaxy will remember one truth. Humanity does not retreat. Humanity does not surrender. Humanity rises. Across countless worlds, species listened. Some bowed to respect, some trembled in fear, but all understood the message. The Council reunited, the Galactic Council convened again, this time with clarity. Humanity had proven their capability, courage, and honor. Lyra stood before the chamber. The humans have done what no other species could. They faced an enemy beyond our comprehension and protected countless lives. They are not a threat. They are a standard by which we must measure ourselves. Kelvar's claws rested quietly on the table. They are dangerous, he admitted. But in the right hands, humanity is what the galaxy needs. They do not seek conquest, and they seek survival. And they inspire others to do the same. A new alliance began to form, one led not by fear or domination, but by trust, respect, and shared survival. A new era begins back on the valiant dawn. Captain Elias watched the stars, calm but alert. Humanity had proven its strength and its resolve. They had inspired fear, yes, but they had also inspired hope. Rena Kate approached. What now, Captain? Elias turned to her, eyes shining with determination. Now we continue. There are more stars to explore, more civilizations to protect, and more lessons to teach. Humanity is here. The galaxy will know it, and we will never stop rising. The crew nodded, proud and ready. Every officer and soldier knew they were part of something greater than themselves. The dawn of a new era for humanity and the galaxy. A lasting symbol, the valiant dawn continued its journey. A massive silhouette against the stars, carrying humans, allies, and hope. Planets and civilizations that had once lived in fear now looked toward the humans as a symbol of courage, intelligence, and resilience. The galaxy had witnessed something it would never forget. A single battleship, guided by humans, had faced impossible odds, protected the innocent, and changed the course of history. Humans had arrived, and the galaxy would never be the same. Epilogue years later, historians would call this period the human dawn. Tales of the valiant dawn spread across stars, teaching every civilization the lessons humans had always known: courage, unity, intelligence, and the refusal to surrender. Captain Elias Ward's name became legend. So did his crew. They were not just warriors, though. They were leaders, explorers, and protectors. Humanity's arrival had sparked a new era, one where the galaxy had to recognize a simple truth: humans survive. Humans rise. And when humanity stands, the universe listens. The stars stretched endlessly before them, but humanity was ready. The galaxy's future had begun, and it would shine brighter than ever.